Hi everyone, it's the Clever Exotical here, and I'm back with another video. Now today I will be talking about egotistic power and how to find the middle ground as an exotical. Now before I begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, so let's pull up a definition of ego. So an ego in simple terms is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. I also want to pull up a definition of the word egotism, which was a really interesting word that I came across while researching. And this is the practice of talking and thinking about oneself excessively because of an undue sense of self-importance. So some synonyms to this is arrogance and selfishness, self-absorbed. So with my newfound confidence, I find that I've been embracing this side of me a lot more. I've been a lot more selfish, and I call it being bougie, right? I like to embrace my egotism for myself. This kind of leaks out onto when I interact with others, and I think that's a really beautiful thing that happens. Hear me out. Here's why. When you use egotism in social settings and the workplace, you naturally advocate for yourself.
And I mean, let's just face it, like, bitches want to be like me. Like, I've had people take my picture to their plastic surgeon because they try to accomplish, like, the perfect bone structure. Like, look at my cheekbones. Look at my lips. My shit be on flick at all times. Like, fuck just my eyebrows being on flick. Bitch, my whole life is on flick. First of all, like, bitches have dressed like me for Halloween.
And this will allow people to like you a lot more. Using the people that actually enjoy what you have to offer, as well as what you can give them in return, can create a dynamic to where you guys are sharing perks with each other. And these type of perks can be what the average Joe doesn't get. I know there was a TikTok that I saw in the beginning of summer where people would make friends with people who own a yacht for this exact reason, to, get invited to yacht parties and yacht hangouts. That's definitely a perk that you can have that the average Joe doesn't have. Right? And in the workplace, let's say you make good rapport with a lot of the higher ups in your company. And so when it comes down to review time, you can advocate for yourself in order to get raises and specific positions in your job that you've really wanted.
And you ain't gonna be into gossip?
No, I don't gossip. I hate drama. I hate toxic people. I will shut it down.
Ooh.
This is a work environment.
All right, so if I hired 2 assistants and one of them was trying to get some gossip on the Lilo, what would you do?
I would be like, that's irrelevant. I'll be like, let's focus on what we need to focus right now.
Ooh.
You need to get your music done.
Ooh. Me?
You need to go in the studio. You don't need to worry. You don't need to worry.
When you advocate for yourself and be very egotistic about yourself, this exercises a lot of courage. This will allow you to exercise the energies of getting that bag and exercising your momentum with what you want to do in life, and eliminating the fearful beliefs that you aren't good enough, because you'll see time and time again in reality how good you are at a lot of things. A lot of us exoticals have grown up to be extreme empaths. So we are able to, feel other people's emotions because we have felt them ourselves, right? In times of need, when we've gotten hurt and betrayed time and time again, that releases a lot of strong emotions that we ultimately project onto other people. And we want to help others get out of their emotions as well. That's why we tend to get into relationships with extreme narcissists. This is why I believe that being bougie and embracing your egotistic tendencies is a very beautiful thing, because it helps you to balance out that empathic part of yourself with your newfound narcissistic part of yourself, because narcissism is the opposite of an empath. Neither one of those words are negative, but both of those words are neutral, I would say. But it's the context in which you take those words which really describe whether they're good or bad, right?
People could see physically that you're a good-looking person, that you're a smart person, that you're ambitious, but they also know that you don't think you're attractive, that you don't think you're smart, or you don't think you're doing anything, just because the way you carry yourself
And so they're not going to let you think that, because that means they're not going to have control over you anymore. So they're going to use...
I hope you guys are following me here, because this is very, very interesting. Finding the middle ground between being humble and being egotistic and being an empath and being narcissistic, it's definitely something that you want to find the balance of in order to function in society and to social climb, right? You have to use some of those dark femininity tactics in order to get to where you want to be, but also balancing that out with coexisting with loved ones. I find that that's where it becomes tricky. And this is why they say it is lonely at the top. When you find those people who you can count on and where there is mutual love, you will obviously understand that, hey, maybe they're at a different point in their life. Everyone has insecurities. So just like how I require someone to have empathy and integrity for me, the same way I should do that to others as well. I found that with my newfound ego and confidence, I would be a little bit braggy, I would say. Like, oftentimes it was because I was very happy with my celebrations, to be honest. I just wanted to celebrate it with the ones I love. But I do understand that sometimes it's not really best to tell people exactly your achievements, especially frequently, because ultimately you will trigger their insecurities, and even though they'll be happy for you, they won't be as celebratory as you would for yourself. I think maybe it is human nature that people get insecure because they're not in the place that they want to be, which is understandable. But as you start to climb up the ladder in society, you'll learn that, hey, it does get lonely at the top.
You are dimming the light on your own gifts and talents to make others feel better about theirs. But what you don't realize is that every time you do it, you are subconsciously telling yourself that you don't deserve to be seen, valued, or heard. And that's not true. So what I'm saying to you is that you can't continue to ensure that everyone else is emotionally secure while you continue to survive on your own emotional leftovers.
And I find that the key here is to not dim your light for nobody, just to remain humble. Instead, you can celebrate by yourself and celebrate your newfound confidence and achievements that you have gained. So I'm just going to pull up a list here that I created on how you can celebrate by yourself. So number 1 is celebrate by spoiling yourself. Definitely do this in a way where you still remain financially secure. But some of the ways that I have been spoiling myself recently is go to restaurants and nice little sports bars to where I can, order what I want and order a couple of cocktails for myself. When you do celebrate alone and go out alone, you do often observe things that you wouldn't normally observe if you were with another person or with your friends. And I know for me, I just moved to a new city. So a lot of people here are very big golf enthusiasts. So I wanted to get into golf as of recent. And so the last time I went out to celebrate alone, on the screen at the bar, there was US Open. That's the golfing channel here. So yeah, I was just watching that and I was gaining a lot of knowledge on how I can level up in that area as well. Because, where there's golf, there's money. Another way you can celebrate by yourself is by taking a day off. Now, taking a day off can mean, taking off from work or just basically taking off from your normal routine.
The entire world seems to be asking the same question. Where is Spider-Man?
Too bad about that spider guy. Too bad he's disappeared. Seems like everybody really needs.
When you're on routine day after day after day, that can obviously become muscle memory. So altering your brain chemistry by doing something new is always great. It's always it's also a really good dopamine increase in your body, because doing those small things really does allow you to get into the habit of not being so scared to change, because you're already, changing up your day every once in a while. So I find that as I listen to a lot of exotical content, it's very validating. It's validating to my years of trauma. It is validating to my defense mechanisms. In psychoanalysis terms, ego is the part of the mind that mediates between consciousness and unconsciousness, and it is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. So our ego protects us, and the ways we use our ego and control it is validated by this content. I almost feel like it's like a realization, a very strong realization that, hey, I have power and control over my life. And I think a lot of people shy away from the word power because of all that it entails. But with power comes responsibility. And with responsibility, in order to be a good, responsible person, you need to be accountable for yourself. So that's where I come in and say, hey, like, you also have to be accountable with how you show up in society. And if you do want to achieve personal connections and better opportunities for yourself, you do have to understand how to work with others while finding the middle ground on how to not compromise yourself. And I think those two can exist. You can have people around you who love you, as well as you can have you. And I like to think of this as keeping your life sacred, keeping your life exclusive, which is great. And sometimes it does get lonely, but in order to, get to the top, you have to understand that it is lonely. And if you want to deal with certain things, like having privileges in life, you're going to have to deal with the highs, and you also have to deal with the lows. But that's just what comes with quantum leaping and changing your life around for the better. But yeah, what are some of the ways that you are able to take control of your ego in society as an exotical? I'm very curious because this has been something that I've been experiencing. And yeah, thank you also to the new followers and subscribers on my channel. Hello, I see you guys. I love you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.